in the cube of side A shown in the figure, the vector from, okay, it's side A and vector from the central point of the face ABOD to the central of the face BEFO, right, BEFO. This is H and this point is G. The vector would be, right. So, to have a better understanding, let us first try to draw a rough diagram again. So, this is given to us, z-axis, this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis. The point here is G, and the point here is, the next point is H. It is given that it is a central point, right? So if the side of the cube is A, what would be the center point? The center point would be A by 2, which means this distance is A by 2. This distance would also be A by 2, which means coordinate of G is A by 2 comma A by 2. Similarly, that of H, this distance would be A by 2. This distance would also be A by 2. Now, what is the difference which arises? Is the axis. So this is x and z, which means this is A by 2 along I cap, and being z, this is A by 2 along k cap. H by 2 here, A by 2 y comma z. So this is A by 2 along j cap and A by 2 along z. So this is k cap. So now if you find out hg, it will be actually h minus g, which is A by 2 j cap plus A by 2 k cap minus A by 2 I cap minus A by 2 k cap. So these two terms will get cancelled, and what we get is A by 2 j cap minus A by 2 I cap, which is therefore A by 2 into j minus I, which gives us the correct option to be option A. So we did it in 2 minutes 13 seconds. Of course, while explaining it will take more time, but while you do it on your own, things will become even simple, maybe less than 1, or in the range of 1 minute 50 seconds, or even less than that. Right, so that was for the solution. Now let us try to understand this question in much detail. So say, to understand this better, what I'll do is I'll try to replicate the diagram once again. So we've been given 3 axes, right? First axis is z, say this is z, this is x, and this is y. Now if you want to understand this question in a theoretical fashion, not in an objective way, but you want a written derivation for that. So face ABOD is given, right? So first let's draw ABOD. So we got A here, B on the axis, O is the origin, D is also here. So we got this line AB, got AD, sorry, don't make it here, AD. And where is point H? Where is point G? The point G is here. Alright. Now let us find the coordinates. So the coordinates would be like this. This coordinate over here would represent the coordinate of the x coordinate, and this coordinate here would represent that of the z coordinate. So this is x coordinate of G, and this is z coordinate of G. How do we find that? See, what is the distance AB? Distance AB according to the question is A. Now since G is the center point, how much would be this distance? It would be A by 2, right? How much would be this distance? This also would be A by 2. Therefore, we can say that x coordinate of G is Gx is A by 2. Similarly, this side is of measure A. Therefore, what will be this point? The half of it, because it is a central point. Therefore, A by 2, which means Gz is also A by 2. Sorry, Gz is also A by 2. Now, let me redraw this figure to draw the vector alone. So we have it like this: z-axis, x, y. This is the origin. We have the position G here. So what is the position vector now? The position vector is OG, right? Position vector is OG. Okay, position vector is OG. Now, what can we write position vector G as, or position vector OG as? OG would be written as GX into I cap plus GY into J cap. So position vector OG is, what is the value of GX? GX is A by 2 into I cap plus, what is GY? We don't have GY here, so it should be, because it's the Z axis, right? So it's not GY J cap, it is GZ K cap, right? So A by 2 I cap plus GZ value of G is A by 2 again, so it is A by 2 into K cap, right? Now coming to the next part of the question, which says the phase BEFO, right? So let us draw BEFO now. So this is the given figure: the z-axis, the x-axis, and the y-axis. Now if we draw BEFO, let us have a close look at it. We got here, where is B? B, E, F, O. So B, O, and F are on the axis, A is above it, right? So it looks like this, right? B, O, wait, where is E? Right, E is here. So E is here. B, E, F, O. Now which plane are we talking about? We're talking about the ZY plane, right? So this is the figure, and we know that measure of PE is A because the side is given to be A here. We also know that measure of EF is also A because the side of the cube is given to be A. And the point here is, the central point here is H, right? So what will be this point here? This point will be the x coordinate of H. What will be this point? Cannot x coordinate, it should be the y coordinate, and this point here is the z coordinate of H, which also would be, since this is A, this much distance is going to be A by 2. Since EF is also A, this half distance is also going to be A by 2. So coordinate of HZ is also A by 2. In which case, what would be the vector? The vector would be OH. So we can write down vector OH is equal to HY along J cap plus HZ along K cap. So vector OH is equal to, what is HY? HY from this figure is A by 2 along J cap, right? A by 2 along J cap plus, what is HZ? HZ is again A by 2 along which direction is Z? So we got along K cap, right? So we have two vectors now, vector OH and vector OG. So if I draw only these two vectors, what we get here is vector z-axis, x-axis, y-axis. We have got one vector here which is vector OG, the other vector which is vector OH, here. So what will be the displacement vector? The displacement vector would be the vector GH. Okay. So if we just take out this diagram, what we have is three vectors. One vector GH, another vector OG, and the third vector which is OH, right? So what can we use? We can now use the triangle law of vector addition. So by triangle law of vector addition, what can we write? We can write that the resultant, which is actually the, so how do we find the resultant? The origin point is here. We have to migrate till H. How do we go till H? We go from O to G, then from G to H. So O to G and G to H, the resultant vector is OH. Therefore, we can write this as vector OG plus vector GH is equal to vector OH, in which case what is vector GH is equal to? Vector GH is equal to vector OH minus vector OG. Now, what is vector OH? We already have written it, which is from here A by 2 J cap plus A by 2 K cap minus, what is vector OG? OG is written here, which is minus A by 2 I cap minus A by 2 K cap. Now again, A by 2 K cap and A by 2 K cap is minus is 0. So what we get is A by 2 J cap minus A by 2 I cap, which will further give us A by 2 into J cap minus I cap. Right, so that explains question number 13. Moving on to the next question. Two guns A and B can fire bullets at 1 kilometer per second and 2 kilometer per second.